So I posted up earlier about some poor designed underfloor heating, and I've had some interesting responses about pipe spacing, and I thought it might be useful to refer to some of the guides in the underfloor heating design and installation guide. And basically what it's showing you here is that the closer the centres, and these are the normal design, expected design spacings for underfloor heating, starting with 100. It shouldn't be considered that 100 isn't possible. It's a standard statement in the design guide. So 100, 150, 200, 250 and 300. Now, just to qualify, before we go too far, there could be scenarios where one room required 100 spacing and another room required 300 spacing. So, for example, the house I actually live in, if I was to do my kitchen and I used 100mm spacings, the same mean water temperature, my living room would require 300mm spacings to work at the same mean water temperature. So it isn't to say that 200 and 300 don't have situations where you would need to use them. But generally you can see from the guide here that the floor outputs are higher the closer the centres are for any particular mean water temperature. And further on in the guide, it talks about the reduction of floor outputs due to TOG value of floor finishes. Now, if you've got a higher value TOG floor output, again, that's a justification for closer centres. And if you just want to reduce your mean water temperature and your efficiency, that again is a justification for closer hull centres. So the argument basically goes, we should be trying at almost all times to be going as small as possible on these spacings, and 100 would be, it's difficult to do 100. 150 is really simple to do, and anything bigger than 150, unless you're compensating for different rooms at one mean water temperature, 150 would be a minimum, a maximum spacing for me. Now, it's up to you. If you want a system to run less efficiently, you can do bigger bigger pipe spacings. But in my mind, we design for efficiency and also future-proofing for heat pumps. And 150 would be my maximum desired spacing. And in my home in Estonia, I've actually used 100mm spacings because I can't achieve the heat output for the floor if I exceed 100. So I hope that helps. Anyway, I think it's not totally clear and people are struggling a little bit to get the concept. But generally, if you've got a design coming in, someone's telling you 200, well, not many people do tell you 250 and 300, but if someone's recommending 200 spacings, I would say probably worth having a look again at who's designing the system, unless they're specifying different centres in different rooms. So if the whole house is specified at 200, probably not the best design. 150, easy to do. It's not going to cost you a lot more money to put the pipe in. Not going to mean you need that many extra loops on the manifold, but it is going to reduce the mean water temperature that you need, and it's going to give you an ongoing economy on your boiler. But to be fair, again, this is only if you're using good controls. If you're going to run your boiler with crazy controls like most of the manufacturers recommend, and not criticising all manufacturers, just quite a few of them. But if you're not going to use controls that actually do control your mean water temperature, then it doesn't make a lot of difference. If you're going to heat the boiler at 70 or 80, then who cares? You've wasted your time anyway. But if you're going to use good controls like on Viessmann's, Vailant's, ATAG's, some of the boilers that can give you proper weather compensated outputs, or even compensation controls of other types, then really, we've got to be looking at this, these pipe centres and getting this down, getting them smaller. I'd like to see 100mm becoming an accepted practice, really, but you never know. Anyway, look, I hope that helps. Any questions, please ask. We can look up all the answers in the book here and try and feed back as much as possible, as much as needed.